CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. Former Olympian and alleged drug trafficker Ryan Wedding has been arrested.
It's been countless of hours and many sacrifices to lead us to where we're at here today. And without the results, we can finally say that our communities, our countries are much safer with the arrest of Ryan Wedding.
Wedding was arrested in Mexico yesterday. He's accused of running a multi-billion-dollar drug empire and was listed on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. The FBI says he trafficked drugs from Colombia to Canada and the U.S. It was protected by the notorious Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. 9 other Canadians are named in the indictment, including Calgarian Alistair Chapman. Chapman is accused of helping Wedding arrange the murder of an FBI agent. Wedding had competed for Team Canada in snowboarding at the 2002 Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City. A major development in the case of a missing senior. Abdul Mufti disappeared more than 2 years ago. CTV News has learned his remains have finally been identified, and police had previously arrested the suspected killer. But that suspect died before charges could be laid. That's because he was killed after attacking a woman in a Northwest home earlier this month. Tyson Fedor reports.
It was this home on Falworth Way Northeast where 71-year-old Abdul Mufti was last seen alive on August 3rd, 2023. But it was this field near Stony Trail and 36th Street Northeast where his remains were dumped. In correspondence with Mufti's family, police say on October 10th of 2024, someone out walking found a human skull here. Police soon dug up a few bones and DNA samples were sent for analysis. 6 months later, it was determined they belonged to Mufti.
There was an incident. I don't believe it was ever resolved, and it always has been a kind of like an interesting, kind of like a little tick in my brain. Whatever happened to the fella?
Police executed a search warrant at the home soon after the disappearance, but it was just this week police told Mufti's family they arrested Shabazz Ahmed, Mufti's landlord, in August of 2023. However, there was insufficient evidence to support a murder charge, and he was released. 2 weeks ago, Ahmed lured and attacked a woman into an Edgemont home where she killed him in self-defense. Police told the family Shabazz's unexpected death has changed the course of the investigation into Mufti's murder. And now there are no suspects, but the case remains ongoing.
The police are still, would maybe still be at the level of suspicion for things like, did someone aid and assist in the murder? Right, didn't actually participate in the murder, but maybe counseled the murder or conspired to commit the murder.
Mufti's family has been left in the dark about what happened. His daughter spoke to CTV News in 2023, pleading for help.
Our prime concern is that we want to know, is my father is alive or not?
Mufti's daughter is now questioning investigative efforts, saying that this case raises critical questions about the enforcement of Canadian law, and that had proper investigations and due diligence been carried out at the appropriate time, her father would be alive today, and his tragic murder could have been prevented. And now the family remains waiting for answers they're unsure they will receive. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
No charges have been laid. Police say they're working with Crown prosecutors to determine next steps. The family is seeking more answers and want their father's remains returned to his home country of Pakistan so he can be properly buried there. Calgary police are looking for witnesses after a shooting in the Northeast. At about 10 last night, officers were called to a home on Terrawood Lane. They found several rounds entered the home, but no one was injured. Investigators say the offenders fled the scene and they have not been found. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to contact police. An investigation has been launched after the death of a worker at an oil sands mine north of Fort McMurray. Suncor says a contractor was operating heavy machinery at their Fort Hill site. The provincial government says the worker was inside a piece of equipment that sank into muskeg. The worker's body has not been found. Suncor says the incident may have been the result of a medical event. A Flair Airlines flight from Calgary to Toronto had to turn back this morning. The airport confirms there was a tail strike. That means either the tail or underside of the aircraft hit the runway during takeoff. The plane was airborne for about an hour, presumably burning off fuel before landing back in Calgary. Flair's maintenance team is inspecting the 737 MAX for damage. An Alberta man's invention for helping locate kids at ski resorts is coming to Jasper's Marmot Basin. The Ski Crum is a radio-based GPS system that can track your child while out on the slopes. The company says it's an alternative to tracking apps that sometimes fail when cell service drops or batteries freeze. The tech is available at some ski resorts in BC, and Marmot Basin will be the first in Alberta to offer it. Keith McIntyre was inspired to create the device after he lost his son on a mountain for 45 minutes.
It is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. I talk to thousands of parents, and anyone that skis a significant amount of time has had some incident. And whether it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, that's too long to be separated from your child.
It costs $20 to rent at Marmot Basin or $199 to purchase for yourself. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnewscalgary.ca.